Hey everybody, welcome back to the range. Time for another gun review. Let's sit down and talk about the Thompson Center Compass from Smith & Wesson. Possibly one of the best bang for buck bolt guns out there, or bust. As many of you have seen through various ammunition testing, the 300 Win Mag that I have right here has had more than ample trigger time on the channel. Probably can't see them on the table, but I have a 5.56 variant, is newer, and as well as a 308 version that I just picked up, but they're all getting some serious work. I had been at the time looking for a bolt gun with a threaded barrel to help aid in suppressor testing, as well as getting into the 300 Win Mag game. With a 300 Win Mag, I can essentially load virtually any 308 caliber rounds at a variety of velocities from 300 blackout all the way up to 300 Win Mag. Enter the TC Compass. Value price, detachable magazine, no frills stock, and a threaded barrel. MSRP of the Compass is around $400, but commonly are sub $300 guns after the various rebates that Smith & Wesson has run on these over the life of them. To go over our basic specifications, we have 5R rifled barrels with a 1-inch MOA guarantee at 100 yards, 1/2 inch by 28 threads on all 22 caliber models, and 5/8 by 24 on all larger calibers. These are offered in 204 Ruger, 22 250, 243 Winchester, 270, 300 Winchester Magnum, 308 Winchester, 223 Remington /5.56, 30-06, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm Remington Mag, and 7mm .08. All barrel lengths are 22 inches except the 300 Win Mag and 7mm Mag are 24 inches. The 270, 300 Win Mag, 30-06, and 7mm Remington Mag are all long action. All the rest are short action. We have a 3-position safety, fire, safe, and bolt lock, a quote-unquote adjustable trigger, 3-lug bolt with a 60-degree handle, 5-round, 4-round on our Magnum caliber, rotary magazine that's flush fit. The factory synthetic stock has grip check string at the front and rear along with sling attachments. We also have a large bolt release and factory installed weaver bases for your scope. As far as any field stripping goes, essentially like most bolt guns, you'll remove the bolt. That's what the bolt release is here for. And then on this model there are 2 Allen head screws, one in the back here and then one up here that holds the receiver into the stock, and that's essentially all you have to do to remove the receiver from the stock. I won't go over taking apart the trigger in this video. I have a previous trigger mod video that I can put in the link in the description below for how to do that, and then I have a couple other videos that I plan on doing with some aftermarket mods that will go over that in the future. Since these guns have been in my possession for a bit, you'll see they're well outfitted. The 300 Win Mag that you have in front of us is sporting the Pro Varmint stock from Boyd's. I'll do a separate video on the stock, but I'm very pleased with the overall fit and quality of it. It adds a little over 1.5 pounds to the gun's weight, which is definitely helpful with the 300 Win Mag. On the 300 Win Mag, we have the newer QD 3-port muzzle brake from Yankee Hill Machine. We have a Harris 6 to 9 inch bipod. And from Optics Planet, we have a Redfield Revolution 3x9x40 scope with Butler Creek scope caps. The rings that you see here are the TC rings. They also came from Optics Planet. On the 5.56 version, we're also using the QD 3-port muzzle brake from Yankee Hill. This is the 1/2 inch model. We have a Caldwell bipod and a Burris Full Field 2 3x9x40 with the Vortex Pro rings, again from Optics Planet. We are currently testing aftermarket trigger spring kits from M-Carbo. Now let's get down to my likes and dislikes on this platform. I love the price. There are a lot of features this gun packs for the price point that are hard to beat. Threaded muzzle and detachable magazine are 2 of my biggest features. Accuracy with the 5.56 version, I've been able to attain under 1 inch at 100 yards. The 300 Win Mag is a different story. Typically all my groups with ammo I use is around 2 inches. I did shoot some MK248, and if you go by their 3-shot guarantee, it was 3/4 of an inch at 100 yards. The action is pretty stiff and is a little sticky when new, but on this 300 Win Mag here it is smoothed out over time, and it's really smooth compared to the 308 version that I just picked up. I like that bases are included, no drilling and tapping. EWG even makes an aftermarket Picatinny rail for both the long and short actions. Being that this is a bolt gun, it pretty much just plain works. Additional magazine prices are reasonable at under $30 each, depending on where you look. For some neutral thoughts, I like that the magazines are detachable, but I'm not sold on the rotary method of feeding. On the 5.56, sometimes it becomes very hard to load various rounds. You'll sometimes have to work the action with more force to load the next round after stripping one out. A couple of good love taps helps, as the 300 Win Mag sometimes will get stuck in the magazine and you'll just rattle around in there. The texture area of the synthetic stock is not rough enough for me, but that's kind of a personal preference. Also because the barrel is free floating, but because the stock is thinner, it's possible to flex the stock into the barrel if you're bearing down enough on the back of the stock. Could cause a little bit of accuracy issues there. Now for the interesting part, criticism on the TC Compass. The adjustable trigger, they might as well not even call the factory trigger adjustable. I have a mod video like I mentioned a while back, but essentially your trigger is locked in at the lightest setting at 6 pounds. You can use the nuts on the stud to increase it, but you really can't go much lower than 6. That is where the M-Carbo spring kit comes into play, or simply modifying the thickness of one of the nuts. You can get the trigger pull under 4 pounds. It does have an over travel stop that has been dead on from the factory on the 5.56 and 308 model. Now to my biggest complaint, barrel threads. They market these as suppressor and muzzle brake friendly. What's the one thing a good threaded barrel needs? A shoulder to torque against. I've posted pictures, and so have many others, on R.A.N.G.E, but the barrels have shoulders with radiuses or with no thread relief. My 5.56 model, I couldn't even get a device to touch the shoulder. I had a gunsmith fix both the 300 Win Mag 5.56 and now the 308 here. The barrel diameter on the 308 is an underwhelming 650 thousandths, the same as the 5.56 model. The shoulder, as you can kind of see, or maybe you can't see, is basically non-existent. I will be fixing this hopefully with a KBA shoulder ring from Parker Mountain Machine. Now granted, I have not had a baffle strike when running a suppressor on this platform, nor have I read about one. But given all the precautions drilled into me from online research, to me this seems like poor quality execution by Smith & Wesson / Thompson Center. Overall, given my needs for the platform, the TC Compass fits my needs for suppressor host and ammunition testing. I'm hoping in the future we see more aftermarket manufacturers make parts for these, maybe a complete trigger pack. I'd like to thank Boyd's, M-Carbo, my Patreon supporters, for helping me purchase the 308 gun, and you all for watching. Until next time, catch you at the range.